Hey, this is Nate with Colorado Kite Sports. Got my first HQ Montana 10s. So Montana 10 is the first brand new kite for HQ under their new rebranding of HQ4. So here it is. I got the 12 meter. I also got an 8 meter and a 9 meter Matrixx 3. So the Matrixx 3 was just essentially rebranded. They really didn't change anything, but the Montana is brand new, so it's the Montana 10, so taking over for the Montana 9, and figured I would be with you guys, or have you guys with me as I open it up and see what's in here. So the bag is very much like the old Matrixx bag, which we saw recently in their last iteration, the Matrixx 3. They updated it with this cool logo, so they're just including lots of new really cool details, like this is kind of a leather logo there. Now they're taking the kite sizes, they put a little insert there for that. The material on this is a little bit thicker than on the old bag, so they're just, you kind of see, I've been really impressed. So I'm continuously seeing just little things like, you know, their tags and their zippers. It's all really nice. They keep getting better and better with the quality of their stuff. So looks like a nice sturdy bag. Really no difference other than kind of the material being a little bit thicker. So that's the bag we got. Let's take a look inside. See what we have. Woo. So this is gonna be the 12 meter Montana 10. That's what it packs up to. I've actually weighed this already, and it weighs just under 2 kilos. So I think it's 1.97 or 1,970 grams. So they're making these out of 30D ripstop material. Kind of take a look at the kite itself. We might try to lay it out. HQ's always been really simple with their packaging, which I like. There's not a lot of excess. Can maybe lay it out, but that's it. So it's gonna be a lot. Can't wait to get this thing up in the air. I got the 8 meter. I got my package right as it was getting dark, so didn't really have a chance to fly it much. But I was jonesing enough that I laid out the lines, got it hooked up. Actually, had to use a flashlight to get the lines hooked up. It's gonna be your manual, new manual that they've got for that. That's kind of it for the bag, what we've got in there. But yeah, there was literally no wind, and so I had to kind of walk a bit to get it inflated. But the first thing I was immediately impressed with was just how light it feels, even in the 8 meter model. So with the 30D fabrics, the 8 meter is weighing in only at around 1,460, 1,470 grams. So incredibly light. And I think even in the 8 meter, it's gonna make a great light wind kite. So it's just gonna be up to you, like, are you looking for something that's a little snappier with more power? But I think the whole lineup is gonna do great in terms of being awesome all the way down into the low light winds, and hopefully in the next few days I can get out and actually do some testing for you guys. So I'll tell you what, I think what we're going to do is we're going to go lay this out on the carpet in the living room and take a look at it and see what the lines look like. You can actually see over here, hey buddy, I've actually got the new HQ4 Matrixx 9 meter laid out. So the 9 meter was my best-selling kite. You know, I didn't get as much time on it. I didn't really realize what a great kite it was until towards the end of the season. I was just so impressed with, you know, I typically don't ride smaller kites because I like a lot of float. I like really soft landings, but I was so impressed once I actually started riding this more, just how floaty it was. I had to get another one. So that was actually my first pull with the new HQ4 Matrixxes, was to get the 9 meter. You can see the color on this it's essentially the same color as the 12 meter was in the old HQ Matrixx 3. That kind of sweet, it was my favorite color. It's kind of almost a Ferrari red, but then they've accented it with this burgundy that looks really cool. So I think it's going to look pretty sharp in the air. So yeah, I was taking a quick look at that. That's a preview of that. Back this up really quick. So this is the 12 meter. It's probably not going to lay out really well in my... It's kind of a cool blue. This blue looks new to me. Doesn't look quite the same as like the 12 meter in the Montana 9. Might be just because it's a lighter weight. But so key difference you can see on the Montanas versus the Matrixx is that they do use a sheathed Dyneema line. So whereas on the Matrixx, these are nude. You know, they're kind of thinking on the Montanas, you're going to be kind of rugged mountain use, just to give that a little extra durability. They do put a sheathing on these, which is kind of nice. So they should be fairly bomber proof. What you'll find on the Montanas and the Matrixxes, for that matter, is when they package them, they'll be kind of tied here. So I always recommend folks, when you get a kite for the first time, to lay out the lines either inside or in really light winds. So all you got to do here is just take this and pull that through, and you can actually pull this through. They kind of make a little faux knot there. Just kind of be gentle with it. So you don't want to be doing this when it's, you know, blowing 20 miles an hour and everything's going all over the place. You can lay that out. And then there should be one more, just kind of a tie right here. You can see this. I just gotta take this and pull it through. There you go. I think I'm only going to lay out one side, so what I would recommend, what I'm going to actually do tonight is hook these up to my line, at least do a rough hook up so I'm ready to go in the morning so I can try it out. But there it is, kind of the revealing of the HQ4 Montana 10. Very excited about this kite. Everything I've heard is it's more stable. The 12 is supposed to have more power. The 8 is supposed to do really well in terms of in gusty conditions. So yeah, they just keep improving and improving these kites, so I'm super stoked. But hope you enjoyed that. I'm going to keep it there, and we'll talk to you guys later. Here's a look at kind of the leading edge on the Montana. Done a nice job. Everything looks super tight in terms of the quality of the stitching, and yeah, they're just doing an excellent job of making it lightweight but still pretty sturdy. So one thing I did want to go over is, and I've got this question from a few people in the past. So HQ is not using leading edge stiffeners or battens like you might see in some of the other kites, and that's actually been an intentional design decision. So there's differing opinions on the benefit of that. The one benefit of the stiffeners is you definitely do get a better airfoil shape in the front continuously. So no matter what the wind condition is, you're going to get a better airfoil shape and the leading edge with a leading edge batten. The downside is there's two fairly major downsides to the battens. One is you start to get premature wearing in the leading edge, either from abrasion on the outside or points along the leading edge where they terminate, where you might get some additional stress as well. That's one thing, and weight is another part of that. So you're adding weight by adding the battens. The other one, and probably actually the more important driving force for why the designer Tom Bordeaux does not use leading edge stiffeners in either his kites or his mini paragliders, his mini wings for that matter. He doesn't use them in his little clouds either. The reason being is that he feels, and there's a lot of merit to the fact that so as a kite goes to a low angle of attack, for example, if it's surging, as it gets to the edge of the wind window, you get a natural deformation in the leading edge when you do not have battens here. So if you have a kite that's surging hard and is about to overshoot, you actually get some inherent stability from the fact that as it goes to that low angle of attack, you're going to kind of deform that leading edge, and it's actually going to cause the kite to fall back into the wind window. And so while you're powered, and where it's really important to have that really good airfoil shape, you're going to have it just by the nature of where the leading edge inlets are placed. You're going to have solid leading edge profiles during that, but in the places where you actually don't want as much formation, and you might actually want a little degradation in the performance so that it's not overshooting, you actually get this natural deformation as it's surging. So we actually see, Tom has seen not using those battens as a benefit, A, in keeping the wings light, so they're just going to perform better in the light winds, and B, for the fact that you get kind of this inherent stability, additional stability of the kite by not using those, and they tend to handle the gusts a little bit better. So I thought I would include that because that has been a question I've received, and some people are just wondering, well, hey, why isn't HQ doing that in their kites? And that's exactly the reason right there. So hope that helps a bit.